I'll never forget the day. It was around almost the tail end of 2017, almost the beginning portion of 2018. I came to work one day, and our car park had been taken over by PF Kadas. There were buses everywhere, and the people that I had assigned to make sure that the car park was clean and functional, half of them had been beaten up, and many of them had been sent away. And I found this PF Kadas they were like red ants. They were like these, not even red ants. When I was a kid, we used to call those iminyangunyangu. Iminyangunyangu are those army ants. I don't see iminyangunyangu anymore. I did when I was a kid. There were these black ants. They were huge. They were massive. And if you stepped on one of these ants in the sand, they wouldn't die. You would literally have to crush them on concrete. It was like they had this armor around them. These PF Kadas were like iminyangunyangu. And the thing about iminyangunyangu, these black ants, is that you would hear them before you saw them. They would make this hissing sound when they would move in unison. They would make this. Oh, and when they bit you, oh my goodness, dangerous stuff. Anyway, so these PF Kadas were all over the car park, and with Kadas, you have to speak to the commander. You can't just talk to one of those little lieutenants. If you want anything done, you speak to the commander. So I said, who's the commander here? So some guy comes up, and his name was Muke. He came, walked up to me, and he says to me, we've taken over the car park, so you can leave now. I said, what? He says, yeah, this car park now is ours. I said, how? That can't be possible, because we have the legal right to this car park. We have a lease from the council to operate from here. Do you have a lease? He said, oh, we don't care about leases. Lease quisa. That's what he said. Lease quisa means we don't need a lease. What's the lease for? It was from that day that I went to my lawyer and we sued those guys, and it took us 1 year, almost a year, 6 months, almost 7 months to get rid of them. The court, The court judgment was that those Kadas were illegally occupying that car park, and we were the rightful owners of the car park because we were leasing the land from the council. So the court order was issued. I was given the court order, and I called the same commander, the same guy, to this office, because everything happens in this office. He sat down and I showed him the court order. I said, "Get off my land." He looked at me and he said, "You don't know what you've started." He says, "Mwewa, over our dead bodies, you're never going to get that car park." I said, "Well, I have a court order here that says you better get off that land." IG, Inspector Kanganja. Was that his name? Kanganja? He was the IG at that time. At the time, Stephen Kampyongo was the Minister of Home Affairs. Tell me in the comments if that was his name. Was it Kanganja or Kinganja? I forget his name. IG Inspector Kanganja. Tell me in the comments. Tell me quick. Inspector IG, Inspector General Kanganja, sent one. Now this was during the PF. Okay? Let's let's not forget that. Just to give you context, this was during the PF. This was now 2018. This was now in the middle of 2019. Okay? Inspector Kanganja sent 150 officers, police officers. They walked in, they came to my office. I posted a picture of the officers that came to my office. And they said to me, they said, Mr. Moyo, we've been sent to your office by Inspector Kanganja to give you some technical support while you erect the fence on this car park. We have been instructed to help you construct the fence. We can only be here for 14 days. 14 days. 2 weeks. So whatever you need to do, do it within 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we are gone. So we bought the fencing. At the time, the fencing cost us 19 million or 19? Yeah, it was 19 million kwacha at the time. This was the rebased, before rebased. It was around 19 million. For that fencing, we bought it. And then we started erecting it. The whole time that we were erecting the fence, PF cadres used to march through Simon Moyo Lane screaming, those police officers that are guarding you, they won't be there forever. They are going to go. And when they go, we shall deal with you. Awakapokolabo bakaya eliyongabaya twalakudilinga chitambala. They would sing this for 2 weeks, every day. So finally we put up the fence. The officer in charge of that operation came to my office and said, Mr. Moyo, today marks 2 weeks. God bless you. We've done our job. You're on your own. The moment the police left, PF cadres from Intercity, from Kolima Tower, some chaps from Lumumba Market, some guys from BH, more than 200 cadres. How do you know there were 200? Honey, I've lived for a long time. I know what 200 people looks like. I know what 1,000 people looks like. I know what 5,000 people looks like. There were more than 200 cadres that came here, and they closed the gates that we had erected. And they stood in front of the gates and they said, you will never use this car park. Didn't we tell you that when the police go, you're going to be here all by yourself? Didn't we tell you? Didn't we tell you? So I went downstairs and I knew that this was a do or die. Guys, what some people don't understand, and I mean this when I say it, I'm willing to give my life for this place because I know the hell my father went through. I will not for one moment desecrate the memory of my late father by putting my tail between my legs and running off because of some kadas. I sound brave now, but I will tell you, I wasn't brave at the time. I was scared as hell, but I knew I had to face them. All I had was a court order from the courts. The only thing I was leaning on was the weightiness of the law. I walked straight up to those guys and I said, this is a court order. It entitles me to this land. You are standing here illegally. Oh, they screamed, hooped and hollered and issued threats. And they said, we know where you live and we're going to kill you. We're going to do this, that, and the other and do that, this, that, and the third. They screamed until they got tired of screaming. I was just standing there with a court order. So, and in my mind, I was thinking, all it takes is just one person to throw a rock at me, and then they'll descend on you. Because that's how they work. Kadas, that's how they think. The moment you hit the ground, oh, they will pummel you. But I knew all I had to do was the only thing that was in my favor was the court order. I just stood there and I said, do what you want, scream as much as you want. I'm not going anywhere. This is the court order. Now, so I am full of fear, but I knew the only image that was in my head was my dad. And I could, in my mind, and this is the truth, the only thing that helped me through that incident was I was imagining my father saying to me, don't back down. Don't give up. Don't move. Don't fear. Don't be scared. Stare them right between the eyes. Look at them. Stand your ground. Don't move. And I didn't move. Eventually, they left. They left. Fast forward to 2026. I was dealing with the PF cadres. Now, in 2026, I'm dealing with UPND cadres. Let me give you one of the reasons this talk of the car park being turned into a bus station, where that comes from. There's a UPND cadre by the name of Ronica. Her full name is Veronica. I mean, this woman she's ratchet. Oh my goodness. I mean, I've heard of ratchet, but good Lord, she puts the letter H in ratchet. The word is wretched, but the street lingo is ratchet. This homegirl is ratchet. This is a woman that she's gone to prison for attempted murder. She's one of these cadres that hangs around here, and she collects a revenue from the illegal bus station that is nestled right on the corner of Kalushawalia Road and Simon Moore Lane. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting that for a long time, for many years, we've been complaining to the council, could you please get rid of this illegal bus station that is nestled on the corner of Kalushawalia Road and Simon Moore Lane? Because this bus station is instrumental in the traffic jams that we experience here in the CBD. Isn't it interesting? I find it curious that Lusaka City Council shuffles their feet. Oh, we don't want to get rid of that bus station. I mean, we don't want to get rid of it. Isn't that interesting? And yet, there was this talk of the car park being turned into a bus station. The reason that came about was because of Veronica, or as we call her here, Ronica, and her homeboys. This woman leads a band of despots. I mean, these are the dredge of society. And the only reason they get away with what they get away with is because they claim to be a member of the UPND. And they just run amok. It was Veronica's group that was trying to pull strings to turn our car park into their bus station. So this whole effort was concocted by a bunch of kadas who just wanted to turn this place into a lawless hub. Any place you see buses, especially illegal bus stations, it's bad enough. At least there are certain places, for example, Kolima Tower, within, I'm a big proponent. Is that the word, proponent? I'm a big supporter of bus stations that operate within the confines of their circumference. Meaning, for example, Kolima Tower. If buses are operating within Kolima Tower, I support that. If buses are operating within city market, I support that. Any bus station that operates on the side of the road, any bus station that operates on the corner of a street, all of that is illegal, and the only thing it breeds: chaos, confusion, filth, and anarchy. Go to Stanley Bar there, what we call Stanley Bar. It's actually Stanley Bar, but we say Stanley Bar. The way Stanley Bar is filthy, and brothers and sisters, there is no filth on this planet like Stanley Bar. Lord have mercy. It puts the letter F in filth. Ifiko fia wapa Stanley Bar. Ushakuti wafikwanisha. Can you handle it? The filth and the debauchery that exists at Stanley Bar is the filth and debauchery that would have existed had this illegal bus station been erected on this car park. Do you understand that? Do you see the constant, non-stop difficulties we go through as SIMOSON? And it never ends. Today we got a big win. Today the car park issue was sorted out. But until when? 2035? 2038? Then there'll be another issue. Then be another group of people. It's never stopped. From 1987, this SIMOSON was built in 80. It was built in 86, opened in 87. Actually, from 1988 to be precise. From 1988, we've always had these issues. Constantly. Why? Because SIMOSON sits on a very prime piece of land. It's a corner plot. I'll never forget, during the PF, one PF commander came to my office and he said to me, because the cadres, I don't know why, they just think that this building belongs to them. They would burst into my office. Sometimes they'd just barge into my office and say this, that, and the third, I remember one cadre a PF guy burst into my office and says, Chitambala, so if you are Chitikapano, in order for us to protect you, Chila shop, each one of your shops here, you have to give us 10 kwacha per day. I said, really? He says, yes. 10 kwacha per day, Samba, ama shops. So you have your chite. What you do, write a letter to your tenants instructing them that there will be a PF commander coming here every day at 17 hours. You give 10 kwacha times 250 shops, because that's the number of shops we have here at SIMOSON. I said, really? I said, how are you going to do that? He said, what do you mean? I said, well, it stands to reason that if you don't own this building and you're going to try and get a levy that doesn't belong to you, I don't know how you're going to do that. No, I'm just telling you. You just tell them. I said, listen, man, I would rather die. I wouldn't give you one ingwe over my dead body. Get the hell out of my office. Oh, I feel they focused somewhere. I said, yeah, get out of my office. And the next time you ever never talk to me about money again. Never mention money to me again. There is not one kwacha that belongs to you from this building. Not one. Oh, yeah. He says to me, is that how you want it? Yeah, that's exactly how I want it. Because you see, when you allow cadres 1 foot into your property, bwana, ni olo. They'll just take you over. Never allow political cadres in your space. Never. And always tell them you'd rather die than for that to happen. So, I just wanted to tell you guys, today we had a very big win. Thank God for that, and I'm very pleased. It's a big win for us. Until the next time. Well, thought I'd share that with you guys. I owe that explanation to you. Thanks for watching.